Okay, thanks for watching today, guys. I'm going to be doing a headlight restoration on this Buick today. I'm going to give you a shot of what these headlights look before. I actually just kind of tried out a clay bar on this, so this one looks a little bit better at the moment, but come over here. This one's a little bit more foggy. The camera sure doesn't show it as much, but maybe the right angles. Yeah, I mean, you can see how foggy these things are. Well, I'm gonna get started on this, and you guys can watch the whole process. Okay, so starting off, I'm just gonna put a little bit of glass cleaner on this, and then I'm gonna use a clay bar, and I'm just gonna kind of just go over this, try to get it as clean starting out as possible, and then we'll move on to the other steps. Okay, now I'm gonna tape this thing off, mask around it, so we can start the sanding process. Okay, now that we're done masking off, I'm gonna use a 1500 grit sandpaper. It's just a little piece of paper like that. I've got a little bucket of water. I'm gonna dip it in, keep it wet as I go along, and then we'll wipe it off periodically to make sure everything is covered well. Okay, done with the 1500 grit. So basically what you're looking for is just, you want it to be completely, not shiny. You want it to be the same look all the way across. I'm gonna go back in with a 3000 grit and just repeat the process. Wipe it back off, make sure everything looks consistent, and then we'll move on from there. Once again, you just want to make sure that once you're done, everything's consistent. Now we're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to get this thing masked off, cleaned, and then we're going to spray it with some clear coat. Okay, now we've got this thing masked off, and next step we're going to do is I've got some wax and grease remover. We're just going to pour it on a rag, wipe the headlight down, make sure it's all clean, and then we'll move on to the clear. Okay, now we're ready to shoot the clear. This is what I'm using. You guys can find whatever works best for you. I'm just showing you this because this is what I'm using for this particular car, and just a gloss clear coat. So I've already got it shaken up. I mean, it's going to tell you directions, stuff like that, how to use clear coat if you've never used it. But yeah, I'm going to start, and I'm going to put a light first coat on. If you get it too heavy right away, you're going to have runs in it. And just do a light coat and then wait a little bit and do a second coat, make sure everything is shiny and clear all the way across it. So here we go. Okay, now we're just gonna wait a couple minutes, let that kind of flash dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna do a full second coat, see what that looks like. We'll go from there. Okay, so we've just put the second coat on. You just kind of want it to be clear and consistent. You can still see some texture there, but you don't want to get it too heavy to where it starts running. We'll go in with one more coat here in a minute. Let's see if we can get this to smooth out just a hair to give you guys an idea. Look at this. Like, okay, it's been sitting for a few minutes. I think we're gonna go in with the last coat. Hopefully the last coat, depending on how this looks. It's already, as it dries, it's already kind of smoothing out compared to what it was just a minute ago. I'm still gonna go ahead and add that just one last coat to see if we can get to smooth out a little bit more. And then it just adds, you know, one extra layer of protection on it. Well, there it is. We'll check back here in a minute and see what it looks like once it's kind of dried up, but that sure is a lot better than just buffing it every now and then. The problem when you buff it is just that it washes away after a while. This is just a lot more long-lasting effect and should last you for, you know, years versus months. So we'll check back here in a minute, see what it looks like. All right, here's the final product. Let's say that looks pretty good. So one thing I will say, guys, you guys can learn from my mistakes and not yours. I should have spent a little bit more time with 1500 grit on this headlight. I don't know if you can see it very well, but kind of in this area, there's a little bit. Yeah, the camera hardly picks it up at all. But there's just a little bit. I should have spent a little bit more time on 1500 grit sandpaper, just kind of working with that. So I learned from my mistake, and this side looks a lot better. Definitely like how they turned out. I'm just glad this is a personal vehicle and not a customer's for this cloudy spot there still, which really isn't that cloudy, but you can notice it standing here. The camera doesn't pick it up hardly at all. Hopefully you found some value in this and maybe be able to do this on your own versus spending money to have someone do it or getting new headlights altogether.